Dead Space Remake teaser reveals release date for the highly anticipated game. A new teaser published on the official Twitter account for the Dead Space Remake revealed the release date for the highly anticipated video game. The remake is a complete overhaul of the first game of the popular sci-fi horror franchise, and while it was expected sometime in 2022, the teaser now confirms the official release of Dead Space is set for January 2023. The Dead Space remake was originally announced in the summer of 2021. EA Motive, which also developed Star Wars: Squadrons, is remaking the game with a few tweaks to Dead Space's signature gameplay mechanics, story, and characters. The Dead Space series currently consists of 3 main games, starting with 2008's Dead Space, and a pair of spin-offs. The main games are set in the 26th century and star Isaac Clarke, who battles undead beings known as necromorphs, which, unlike traditional zombie-like enemies, generally have to be dispatched by slicing off their limbs. Dead Space gives players control over an engineer called Isaac, who gets trapped in a space station filled with nightmarish creatures. Instead of a simple alien invasion, Dead Space uses the best of body horror to imagine monsters made from the melted flesh of the previous crew of the space station. Initially armed with a laser cutter he uses as a repair tool, Isaac needs to track down the origin of the infection, dismembering hundreds of creatures along the way. The original game was already gruesome and nerve-wracking, but the remake promises to increase the tension by giving players new tools to rip the flesh out of their enemies' bodies. Developed exclusively for the new generation of consoles and graphic cards, the remake of Dead Space uses the latest digital technologies to make the horror on board the space station more lively than ever. However, the Dead Space remake is much more than a nice coat of paint, as it rebuilds the whole game from zero, with an enhanced combat system and even an improved narrative. For instance, while Isaac is a silent character in the first Dead Space 2 voice actor Gunnar Wright is coming back as the engineer for the remake. That means the remake will have fresh dialogue that allows Isaac to become a more complex character. While the Dead Space remake features many improvements compared to the original, such as responsive zero-gravity controls, the game is also aiming to reproduce its critically acclaimed atmosphere. That means players will find the same claustrophobic corridors, fully illuminated scenes, and many air ducts where the enemies can crawl freely. By making sure no place is really safe, the Dead Space remake hopes to offer the ultimate horror experience that was so on point in the original game, and which was unfortunately lost as the franchise leaned more towards action. Dead Space is slated to launch on January 27, 2023, for the Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC.